Good morning. I'm Jack Lawler, President of Killick Group and this year's NOIA Conference Chair. Welcome to the opening session of NOIA's annual conference, Play on the Edge 2011.
Play on the Edge is NOIA's annual conference and is the region's largest, most important oil and gas industry event. With over 1,000 delegates and internationally renowned speakers, it's become a must-attend event for anyone in the energy sector in East Coast
Premier
Canada.
Dunderdale has exhibited an ongoing commitment to women's issues, anti-violence and rural development in our province. Please join me in welcoming Premier Dunderdale.
Let me welcome each and every one of you here bright and early this morning at the start of the annual conference of Newfoundland and Labrador Oil and Gas Industries Association. To those of you from Houston, where it's 6 a.m. right now, or from Calgary, where it's 5 a.m., morning here on the eastern edge of the continent must seem very early indeed. By the time the North American markets open today, we will already have had a significant head start, and that's how we like it. If there is one industry that has no place for pessimism, narrow thinking, or timidity, it's the oil and gas industry. Not a well would have been drilled without the boldness, grit, and determination of the forward thinker who possesses the morning certainty that absolutely anything can happen.
Well, we're in our 27th year. Again, it is our biggest conference ever, and it's just the excitement around the room is just great.
This conference is gaining a global reputation for being first class. The content, the messaging, the diversity of speakers and topics is really world class.
This conference is a good place to meet a lot of the players, and you meet the small players, you meet the big players. And, this place is booming. This is the place to be. So if you're in oil and gas or you're trying to introduce someone to oil and gas, this is a good place to come.
Every year, this conference is growing, and it definitely is an international conference. The delegates that come here are coming from all over the world, from Russia, from Greenland, from the United States, and all around. And they're coming here to try to find out just how exciting this industry is and what exploration frontiers there might be for the next generation of explorers.
Yeah, we're very happy with the attendance. We've got a wide variety of industry influencers and decision makers here, and that's important because we want them to understand our industry here, our aspirations, and so it's really important to get those folks in the room.
This is a great conference where we can get an update on many aspects of exploration and production in Newfoundland offshore area, which is very close to the Greenland offshore sector. So we are also in a learning process because we are in the phase of developing our offshore sector and also the supply sector in Greenland, and we need the know-how from that Newfoundland or Canada can give us, because they have the know-how and we have the prospects.
The Atlantic region is one of our pillars for growth. We've got 3 pillars as a company: the Atlantic region, oil sands, and Southeast Asia. Clearly to this audience, it's relevant is Atlantic region. And what I wanted to share with the audience today is our commitment to the long term here. Husky's built a great land position, both in the Jeanne d'Arc Basin, Labrador, and then Greenland. We're pursuing a lot of activity in terms of field development, with ongoing development at North Amethyst, to be followed by West White Rose, and of course our production efforts with the Sea Rose. It's really critical that Husky gets out there and explains its plans, so that our contractor community understands the direction we're taking, and they can engage with us in the delivery of those programs. We're here for goodness knows how many years in a row, and very proud to be a supporter of the conference.
NOIA had humble beginnings in 1977. Now, the Newfoundland Oil and Gas Industries Association has over 500 members and is the largest offshore oil and gas industry association in Canada. Bob Cadigan is NOIA's president and CEO.
So NOIA's kind of taken a role of predominantly trying to ensure that through the various projects that the conditions are right for local businesses to capture opportunity. That's a really important piece. The other important role for NOIA is to ensure that the conditions are right for development of the industry. One of the things actually that NOIA has done as well is we do a lot of public speaking engagements. We view it as very important to make sure the public is on side and understands the issues, but understands the importance of the industry as well.
Well, over the last 20 years, with my experience with NOIA, they've always been a provider of information, a point of contact for questions about opportunity for member companies, an educator through seminars and conferences such as this. It's also dedicated really to the small and medium-sized enterprises in Newfoundland, but as an international contractor, it's an excellent point of contact to determine the hows and whys of why we should be here to support this industry and to employ further Newfoundlanders to support our industry going forward.
Our board, the representation on our board is really a good cross-section of the industry. We've got local companies, international companies, a good mix. If there are companies that are looking for opportunities here, in some cases they come in and they view it as another jurisdiction. They're just going to come in, do the work and leave again. But we find by kind of bringing them into the mix, you know, we make them act and feel a little more local, so that's always important as well. The challenge for us, I guess, is despite being a small organization, is to be staying really well informed, having a good handle on the issues, and maintaining relationships with a wide variety of players. So time is always the enemy. So it's a tough challenge, but I think we do reasonably well. You know, we look at the key issues for the industry in the long term, and the bottom line is there's been a lot of talk recently about the decline in production curve, and it's a fairly steep decline. So what we need to see, and one of the things that's very, very important in NOIA, is we need to see more exploration. If we look at the history of exploration in Newfoundland and Labrador versus jurisdictions like the North Sea, we've had about 140 exploration wells in an area fairly equivalent in size to the North Sea. The North Sea has had over 4,000. So from NOIA's perspective, it's really critical that we set the stage to increase exploration, and the most critical piece up front really is seismic data and the acquisition of multi-client seismic data, or some people call it spec seismic. And so basically that's seismic information that's collected, what is available for sale to companies that may want to look at Newfoundland and Labrador to potentially explore for oil and gas. If we look back in time, most of the seismic data, the multi-client seismic data available, you know, is 20 years old. About only 15% of it is more current. So we need to see more of that spec seismic, because that really is the base to attract people to our basins.
Just how important is the energy sector? For Bob Cadigan, it's personal.
The industry is so critical to the province and so critical to the future. I've got a 12-year-old daughter. I want to see this continue for her as well. So for me, it's you know, it's more than a job. It's a job, but also it's a chance to influence the future of the province and the success of the province. So I view it as a very important job.